We have 5 MBA formats here at Goizueta Business School. There are 2 full-time programs, a 1-year and a 2-year format. We have an evening part-time program and then 2 executive MBA formats, a weekend format and a modular. So 5 formats. Across those formats we have about 73 veterans enrolled, including 15 active duty service members. When you're trying to decide among those formats or which format might be best for you, I advise that you look at both format and fit, right? So format-wise, the very most basic question is, do you want to go to school full-time or do you want to work while you're in school? If you want to go to school full-time, then you're looking at the 1- or 2-year programs. If you want to continue working while you're doing your studies, then the evening, weekend, or modular formats are the best formats for you to look at. You also want to consider the amount of time you want to spend doing your MBA program. So we have formats that you can complete in 1 calendar year, and then we have formats that will part-time take you about a little close to 3 years to complete. So how quickly or slowly you want to do your studies is also something to consider. And then you also want to think about fit. Each class in each one of those formats is a little different. They differ by the years of experience of the students that are represented in the class. They differ by the number of concentration areas, so how many electives that you want to study, what electives or concentration areas you want to study vary a little bit from program to program. And then what kinds of career paths you might be pursuing after the program if you are exiting the military and you're planning on going into the civilian workforce. Certain types of career paths lend themselves better to a full-time program so that you can have an internship, like investment banking or brand management are 2 common fields that we see, whereas other fields or industries that you might be pursuing you could do in any of those formats. So that gives you kind of a broad overview of how to approach the formats, and then working with myself or my colleagues in admissions, we can start to hone down a little bit further on the details.
Well, I knew when I was going to get out of the Marine Corps that I wanted to do a full-time program. I had the opportunity to use a GI Bill. So I started looking at places that want to go into consulting, so would have the opportunity to allow a consulting career. The location was important for me, so I knew I wanted to be in the Southeast, specifically Atlanta, but in the Southeast. And then really that fit and the size. It had been 9 years since I graduated the Naval Academy, so I knew that academics was going to be something I was going to be moving back into. So when I came here, I met with both staff and students. Amy was one of the first people I'd met, but also current students. And they were the type of people that I had worked successfully with in the past, and also that I knew I would be able to work successfully with in the future, because you're joining a new organization, and these aren't just going to be friends and colleagues for 2 years. I knew it was going to be a lifetime connection. So I looked for people that I could have a cohesive relationship with. Like, I like competitiveness. Anybody that's been in the military probably does as well too. But in certain environments, you want a certain specific type of competitiveness, and I see that here. We're a lot smaller, so your reputation really follows you around, and people know that in their interactions. It's a lot different than what I've seen with other business schools and peers at other business schools. The Southern hospitality, I guess, is kind of a thing here that I'm learning about. For me, like I said, the location was important. The opportunities out of here were important. You realize as you apply to schools, certain companies and certain locations aren't available to all schools and all locations of where the school is. So make sure that whatever career you want to go into, that school specifically has that pathway for you. As a veteran, a lot more doors are open for you, but Emory has all the doors that I'm looking for, so that was what was important for me.